gorgeous day, and guys,
kind of a weird spot, but I'm going to stop here and take a little break and shoot a little bit of video.
So I'm still thinking about Mike's book and doing stuff for Mike's book, and I think I'm going to do a series of videos. But one of the early things that Mike talks about in his book is that you shouldn't hike alone, and I get that. I mean, the recommendation that you should hike with 3 people. That way, if one person gets injured, either one can stay behind and one can go get help, or the person who's injured can stay behind alone and 2 can go get help, so that, various combinations. So I guess the more the merrier. Why do I hike alone? I mean, I hike alone fundamentally because I've been doing this for 25 years, 28 years. I'm super passionate about it. I love the sport. I could go out every weekend, but I have a family and kids, and they don't want to go out every weekend. And I do longer trips that people don't want to do with me. So it's circumstance. I have no choice. I have to hike alone. And I think after so many years of doing it, I've become quite good, and following the advice in Mike's book, I do most of those things. So I'll talk about that. But I'm well prepared. I don't take unnecessary risks, as you've seen in many of my videos. I know, Mike, I know when to turn around. I've learned little tricks that Mike talks about in his book. Don't step on something if you can step over it, and don't step over something if you can go around. I've learned that. I mean, you don't want to twist an ankle. So when I hike alone, I think about this. So I mean, you want to be prepared for a lot of eventualities. Like Mike talks in his book, the eventualities are the normal ones. You have to be psychologically prepared. I have to have shelter. I have to have a means of starting a fire. I have to have some basic tools. I have to be able to stay warm. And when I think about all those things, am I nervous about hiking alone? I think of what could really happen to me while I'm out there alone. What could kill me, right? And probably the thing, I'm not afraid of bears anymore. Let's get that straight, and we can debate this forever. And I take basic precautions, but I don't go, bears are not the thing that preoccupies me when I'm in the woods. If I think of what might really happen to me, falling and hurting myself, a serious leg injury or something like that is very, very real. And so is hypothermia. Getting too cold, like today's a drizzly day, getting too cold, falling in the river, something like that. So I'll probably do an episode just on hypothermia. But for today, for the rest of this episode, I just want to talk about the basic things that I do to get prepared. I mean, you've seen my pack and you've seen the loadout of my pack, but I want to just talk a little bit in detail of some of the things in my pack, specifically around the survival. Starting to rain a bit. Doesn't make it ideal for a stop to do a review, but so I'll try and do this quickly. So of course, the number one thing for being out here prepared is my Bic lighter, and I have one in my pockets, and I'll do a whole video on that, and I have them elsewhere in the pack. I'm just gonna turn the pack around. The other thing I always carry close with me to be prepared is a trusted pocket knife. So in this case, I'm just using a Swiss Army knife. You don't need a Leatherman. I mean, the pliers are not going to be useful, but the knives, the tweezers, a few things on here are super useful. And then in the bottom here, you guys have often seen this come out in videos, my trusty Colin brand Sierra saw. So when you lock the blade or the saw in place on this one, you can cut a lot of things. I mean, I can cut something like this quickly, and very helpful. I've cut some pretty big logs with this thing, so this is a key tool. I keep the stuff on top that I might need, so a rain jacket is on top today. But wanted to focus on a couple of things that I don't talk about very often in terms of coming out here and being prepared. So I might do a very detailed one on my first aid kit, but I kind of have two first aid kits, and these don't weigh very much. So this little first aid kit, this is the one with medical supplies. This is the one that has some antibiotic ointment. I mean, we talk about what are the things that could really hurt me, other than hypothermia and falling. A burn, getting burned while working around the fire could be problematic. I have a kit with moleskin in there. I'm lucky, you know, my feet are okay. Always another Bic lighter in there, a soap. I have some different medication. Actually, here's an important thing: a mirror can be used for signaling. There's bandages in here. There's a little bit of string. There's some basic medication, like I have some stuff for back pain and some Advils for in case I get a headache or something like that. Anti-inflammatory. You know, there's actually a sewing kit in there. There's scissors. There's a little bit of electrical tape. So it's just a multi-purpose first aid kit. It's got bandages and things like that. So that's one.
Just wanted to show a quick close-up of the little first aid kit I carry. Actually, I carry two. I'll do both. So, you know, it's a simple little bag. Couple of things that get handy: antibiotic cream, you know, if I burn myself. Very standard moleskin. Another handy dandy pack of different size blister bandages, or for either hands or feet. Carry always have spare lighters everywhere. Electrical tape. In another kit I have medical tape, but electrical tape keeps better, is handier, and you know, in an emergency you can use this on a cut. Pepto-Bismol in case I have some sort of diarrhea problem, maybe associated with water. I carry a little container of Advil. Could be used for anti-inflammatory if you have a headache or an anti-inflammatory. It's not a lot, but these are Robaxisets for back pain. What else? Scissors, throat lozenges. Just there's 4 in there. 2 times 2, 4. Some different band-aids and things like that. Soap. I carry another soap as part of my toiletry, but I might need to wash something. A little loose end of paracord. I have paracord everywhere, but I don't know. I found this in the hotel, threw it in there. It's there's a cotton swab, a Q-tip, and a nail file. A mirror, if I had something scratch in my face or something or it could be used for signaling, could be used for a couple of things. More medication. These are pretty old, but they're in there, and just because they're expired, they could still be handy. Or they're not expired yet. They're good till 2017. Some tabs for disinfecting water. A hotel sewing kit, the needle and thread. You could actually, you know, if you watch The Revenant or other movies, you could either stitch yourself if you had a problem, a big cut, and you're desperate, you're going to need some stitching, or you can use a needle to remove a sliver or something. And actually, if you had a sliver, a tweezer. So a couple of things. And then I got another box of band-aids and moleskin and things like that. So there you have it, just some basic stuff in the first aid
that I have. That's the one that's got things like a tensor bandages. Actually, there's a couple in there. There's gauze. There's actually in this one tape, and then there's compression bandages and a few other things. Huh, lo and behold, look at that, another lighter in that case. Oh, and it works. Just proof that it works. So, you know, other than my basic gear, which I've detailed a lot, you know, my pack, my sleeping bag, my tent, and all that stuff, these things are things I don't talk about very often, but the first aid kit is very important. Couple of tools. Now, if I reach in deep in here, in this front pocket, right here, sort of out of sight, out of mind, got another pouch. I got zip ties, these plastic zip ties that could replace a buckle or something like that in a panic. Rope. I have other paracord elsewhere, but I got more rope. I got a candle in there. I got more zip ties. This is a pouch that I just keep out of sight, out of mind, along with a bit of food. Actually, I have food that's stashed in the bottom of my pack. It's the out of sight stuff, but that could be useful. So there you go. Just wanted to showcase a couple of extra things that I don't talk about normally.
And then I carry a second pouch. I carry more than this, but like I showed in lo and behold, another lighter, medical tape, stretch tensor bandage, some gauze, compression bandage, another compression bandage, a couple of compression bandages, and then they always say to carry one of these. This is a fairly large one. This is a triangular bandage with a safety pin, so it can be used for a lot of things, and more gauze. So, and then of course you have other things at your disposal while you're hiking. I have, you know, remember I have my, I'll rip apart a shirt if I have to. I have socks. I have duct tape in my thing. I have, you know, so you have to improvise. You can't carry absolutely everything you need. You know, I'm not going to carry a 30-man first aid kit. You know, I don't have hypodermic syringes but I have things. I have lots of things. And nothing beats also taking a first aid course. Being an engineer who works in the oil patch, I've had to take lots of first aid courses over the years, and that comes in handy. So there you go, two things I carry in my bag.
Chest strap's always the chest strap actually does more than I used to initially think. It actually keeps your shoulders kind of, keep the pack in, and get a lot of comments about whether you know, the pack looks big, but it's actually, you know, it's a very comfortable pack.
You try and find the trail in this stuff today. I can barely. Whoops. It's another glorious day in the bush.